So, man, I used to watch a show about the lost Dutchman mine. It was called The Legends of the Superstitions, and one of the characters, one of the guys on it that was out looking for it was Wayne Tuttle, and he's here, and he's agreed to say something, and he's got his own YouTube channel. So, man, Wayne gave me a great story, and first of all, tell me how they can see you on your YouTube channel, because you know the show ended, but you keeping it going. So
yeah, we were. Frank, shut up. We're actually filming, okay? Sit down.
Quiet on the set.
Sit down. We're gonna get a room level here, okay? Can you be still and shut up for maybe 10 minutes? Your mouth is moving, no words are coming out. It's a yes or no answer. Please, it's a yes or no answer.
Y'all better start over.
Oh no, this is the way it is the whole time. It's been 6 weeks of this. And he's over there just chewing away, waiting he's trying to come up. You got something to say there? Got something to say there? Yeah?
I'm waiting.
Okay. My name's Wayne Tuttle, and I was on Legend of the Superstition Mountains, a television program on History Channel. We ran 6 episodes between the production company, History Channel, and everything, and delays and stuff. Our contract ran out, but we decided after our contract had run out, Frank Augustine and myself, who co-starred on the show with me, we talked about what would we want to do. There were other people, other production companies and groups interested in us, but we weren't really into the Hollywood way. And it's a much more difficult schedule, and talent is not treated like you would think it is. So Frank and I decided, why don't we just go do our thing, take cameras, film. We can see what we can do to edit it, put it together. If people like it, we can put it on YouTube and see what comes of it. So we are wrapping up now, currently, 2018, fall of 2018, currently wrapping up our second set of 12 episodes doing YouTube. Plus we post other videos and stuff. You can find that on Legend of the Superstition Mountains channel. There are 2 of them. One of them is by History Channel, one of them is by us. We're the easier one to find because obviously there's more content. Just walk right behind the camera as I'm talking, because that'll work good. This is what it's like filming television, because you're stopping and starting. But regardless, because Terry's a wonderful, awesome man and probably can edit like a pro.
I can't, but thank you for saying
that. Maybe he can't. But Frank and I decided we wanted to do YouTube, so we put the stuff on the YouTube channel. We have a Facebook channel, same thing, Legend of the Superstition Mountains. And the Rendezvous, which for 14 years we've been out here running, has its own Facebook page, Dutch Hunters Rendezvous. And mine, which I leave open to the public because I always want to hear from everybody, as just Wayne Tuttle. And I do a Facebook Live every Thursday when we're running episodes on YouTube. Now, we release them every 2 weeks, but we do the live every week. And that's to kind of let you know what we're doing or what events are coming up, because we're real supportive of the other people around us, like the Feldman brothers, who are doing a program, Lost Gold, on Travel Channel. And we always want to support everybody else we know that's doing television or doing this or that, and so that's all good. But, you know, one of the things I always get asked is, you know, when you're working television, what is, is it like? Because everybody always wants to say, well, I want to get on that contract. All these guys make money. One, there isn't a lot of money in it. It's not just whether it's reality TV. If it's network television, it's 10 times the amount. So if they're going to pay you $2,000 an episode to do reality television or something on cable, they're going to pay you $20,000 an episode to do it network. So network is a huge difference. If you can get yourself into network TV doing this type of thing, which is very rare with reality unless it's a game show, much different money. Once you sign that contract, you're locked in, and it's generally for that season, filming through finished in another year in 90 days. So you're kind of lost no matter what you're doing, whether you feel successful or if you find, well, I want to do something different. You just find yourself restricted. So I tell most people, be interested if you have the free time. If you're retired and someone's interested, try out. But for most people, I don't think it's for them. It's much more constricting. You're going to sit there and they're going to tell you what they want to do. They will basically film you to the point of exhaustion where you do what they want. So unlike Terry here, who's just an awesome guy, they would keep retaking this till they got me to say just what they wanted me to say or close enough to edit. And that was one of the difficulties for us, is when you look at an episode of cable television with commercials, about 42 minutes, That 42 minutes takes 16-hour days to film. And they do so much that by the time you're done, they can manipulate and change it. So the television program, and I think Frank and Eric DeLille, Eric Magnuson, and Woody Wampler would agree, it doesn't even resemble what your memory is of what you filmed, because you're going out of sequence, everything's just happening, and you're just kind of looking there like, hold on, I don't remember that, or where's all this, or okay, this part's come, oh no, what happened? And then suddenly there's things you did in the 5th week that are in the 2nd week, and things that happened in the 1st week that are on the 6th week of episode. And it's very confusing to you. So you're wrapping up, close, 1,000 hours into 3 or 4 hours total time. So I think for most people, they don't realize it's not what you think it is. It's not a lot of fun. The people you work with make the difference. We kind of bonded, and definitely being from that kind of outsider, the treasure hunter, prospectors, that kind of thing, it became us against them. And that was kind of what helped the show a lot. Is by the time we were finished filming, we all kind of were sitting there and going, we'll show you guys. We'll tell you how we're going to do it. And I think there were things that came out better for it. But for most people that are interested in that type of thing, probably it's best walk away. Do what we're doing. Do your YouTube. Be happy with the people that watch it and enjoy it, because you're going to find it's more satisfying. You're going to find it's reflective that of more who you are, because there's nothing worse. And trust me, it's hard to watch yourself on television, but you don't want to sit there and go, someone else has control over the footage or your story, like network television is going to. They have that forever and ever, and everything on the cutting room floor, and you're done. Once you're paid, they can do whatever they want. So pretty much that's how all that works. Now, from the side of things here, the Rendezvous, and I'm sure plenty of people, talk about the Rendezvous, and it's a great event. This was something started years ago. A handful of guys came out. They were talking on some forums, said, let's get together to camp. We came out, and it was a camping trip. Everybody had a good time. 2nd year, Greg Davis and the Dons of Arizona sponsored us to come out here and keep it at the Dons camp. Since then, now 13 years of it, we've stayed here with guest speakers. We'll average 80 to 150 people depending on the year and the weather. But it's a really nice thing, because most people see an event like this, they think there's going to be a chili cook-off and there's going to be somebody selling stuff and all this. We do a raffle to help pay for food and a lot of stuff that happens around here, but for the most part, it's just a free event. And when you sit here, the guy next to you probably wrote a book. The other guy was in a documentary. The other guy over here was on a television show. So the kind of cool thing is, it's the guest speakers, everybody is just part of the crowd. So the crowd is actually the historians, the researchers, the guys, the personalities. So I think it has a completely different flavor than most events you go to. And we spend so much time. I know Terry Carter couldn't hang with us last night. But first night he hung pretty good till about 1 and 1:30. He almost hung in there. But last night we hung till 3:30, 4 o'clock in the morning.
Man,
so
that's up late, man. I
oh no,
2:30 I think.
So yeah. I actually Sal went to bed before me. So I pushed the envelope last night. But it's all good, because it's that chance you get to sit by a campfire and talk to everybody about not only treasure stories and chasing things in the mountains. Hey, Sal, you notice I'm talking to a camera?
Okay.
Thank you, buddy. No, it's just a very unique thing, and your chance and opportunity to speak with these people and share and hear different things and aspects about their life is just incredible. You can't get enough of it, and I think that's one of the things you hear about life, and you're getting a very different perspective from people from very different walks of life and different levels of success and happiness and where they're at. And I can't tell you, I think the stories sometimes are one of the best parts, whether you believe it or not. The stories are some of the best things you're going to get out here from people, and you just keep filling yourself with more and more of it. And you realize you kind of have a better understanding of human nature and of people. But it's such a great group, man. Except for Sal. Sal, I don't care for.
Hey,
don't be muttering back there.
I came out here. I didn't know what to expect. looked like it might be some great people, and it was, man. Everybody was friendly. There's a lot of knowledge here. There's a lot of great stories, and man, thank you for putting this on, man.
Yeah, and the main thing we always wanted to do is no rules, except leave your baggage at the gate.
Yeah.
And I always make the suggestion when you leave, don't pick up the baggage. Go back to life and just leave it here at the gate, you know. Let it stack up out there, because I think it's the best thing for everyone. We've had a lot of disagreements and stuff, but we've never had anything really bitter out here. And I think that's truly important. We need that, because it's just so often in today's society and social media, people disagree and they get so loud and they get so... but, you know, hey, I'll share one story, and it's something I think we've shared a little bit, but we always shared around the campfires. And we were filming, I think we were in our probably third or fourth day of filming. And our director, producer, Russell, had stepped on a rattlesnake. And Frank dispatched the rattlesnake. And you can actually time sequence this, because you hear me on screen say, sounds like Frank killed a rattlesnake. Then you hear 2 more shots, because, face it folks, he's old, he can't see good, he misses shit. But... boom, boom, and then you hear me say, or 2 or 3. Well, next thing you know is we're sitting there, they cut, and they're moving all the cameras, and I'm standing there next to Eric Magnuson, Eric DeLille, and Woody Wampler was off to my left. And Frank comes up over the hill above us on his famous heart stone or heart-shaped boulder, and he goes, "Hey, Woody!" And he whips his arm out, and we see something flying through the air. Hits Woody plain in the face and just wraps on his shoulders. It's a dead rattlesnake. We will not explain exactly what Woody's words were at that moment, but he did some sort of Incan dance ritual referring to Frank in a number of different ways and tones as he worked his way out, but it had something to do with that Frank is somewhat insane and that their friendship was over at that point. But that's what it's like. Those moments make it worth it. Sorry, Woody. Was funny. But a lot of that stuff was worth it. And, you know, when people sit there and say, you know, what was it like? Or this guy's like that. Or this guy's, you know, that's not necessarily the person that's there. The personality that comes through film is manipulated, and we got along really well. We had a really good time. There were the practical jokes, and we enjoyed so much time together, regardless of how much we give and take to each other at any given time. Even at this point, we stay in touch. Frank keeps following me wherever I go, so I can't get rid of him.
You never
But
let you come.
well, I'm trying to get away. Trying, Frank. But no, and the relationships you build, you know, like Frank and I have, and the time we've spent in the mountains, you don't want to change that for anything, because it's just, there's a common shared thread and interest there. But then as time goes by, it becomes something else and other things, and that's the thing you really appreciate. I would not have said, oh, Frank Augustine are gonna be calling each other almost every day and shooting up in the mountains and hanging out and doing all kinds. I would have never thought that. I don't think Frank would have years ago. But it was a relationship that just, it fits for whatever reason. That you have your yin and yang, you have your hot and cold, and it just works perfectly for the two of us. So, but and like I said, I'm just not saying that because Frank's here. Well, maybe, but you know, just make him feel better after I insulted him earlier. But no, it's you know, it's so real and good. But yeah, check us on YouTube, and definitely on this stuff with Terry, because Terry does a great job. And I know he doesn't hear enough of it, because I liked his stuff. And, you know, you want to support these type of things and get people encouraged to do more and more and share them. Because it's part of the history. You're going to get a lot of history. You're going to get a lot of realism from everybody on that. And Terry, like myself, Frank, we answer people and talk to people. So people have questions. We like to put ourselves in that position. If they have questions we can answer, we can do it. Which a lot of guys are going to hide behind stuff and not, you know, well, no, I'll hire someone to run the website or something. And we haven't done like that. Weren't interested in making any money from it or anything like that at this point.
I was going to say, man, there ain't enough money in it to hire people.
No, but we'll put the money into equipment and other things, because to us the importance is we like what we're doing, and we see a focus of young people of being able to get people out there and do stuff. And if we can get a few kids off the couch and out there and interested in history and carrying this type of thing on, that's the best. I don't even think in high school now, I mean, I remember we had not only U.S. and world history, but we had Arizona history. I don't even think they do Arizona history strictly as a program in the high schools anymore. And nope, I think he's shaking his head no over there. So we have a young high school graduate, and he's saying no, none of that. So most of the history my own son gets of the state of Arizona and all this stuff comes from me, just being around me and hanging. And that's a shame, because Arizona has such a rich history everywhere, all through it. And so, but yeah, it's the friendships and the bonds you make and the shared thing. And last night, Greg Davis, one of the directors of the Superstition Historical Society, and I were talking about if there wasn't anything else out here, we'd still be out. There's something about these mountains and this history that draws us. And I know we don't look like the kind of guys that would be really kind of ranching geeks, but that might be it, because there's something about these mountains that we're just passionate about regardless. And you can hear it when we're talking and about things. We don't want it to be, when we're out here, about politics, religion, money, anything else. It's just about our sheer love of being out here and enjoying ourselves and being shared in it. And the connections and the friendships you make, and sure, there's people that you differ opinions with, but you don't wish them any harm, in my opinion. You spend time with them. And I'm sure everyone, Greg, Clay Wurst, Tom Collenborn, I absolutely know there, we've shared the path with some pretty seedy and sketchy people. But it was all good in the end. So I think that is one of those things that's the payoff, is you get to know the people.
Into a bunch of seedy people?
No, I said we hung with, went down the path with. I didn't say Greg Davis is one of the seedy, sketchy people that I hang with. Don't edit that like that. No, but it's all good. But I value those friendships with all these guys. So whether it's the museum, the mayor of Goldfield, Bob Shoes, and everything he's done and around for us, and all the guys that write the books and the guest speakers and people we've had. But you love it. You just love it. The sharing. I just. Time and time again, the words echo in my mind is that we'll be sitting here at the Rendezvous, and Jesse Feldman will sit there, and someone will get on a tangent, and Jesse will just say, let's just talk about Dutch hunting. And he sounds like a 6-year-old kid. Like, come on, guys, let's just talk about this. It's like, let's go play ball. And I think we're all a little bit like that. We just like the history. We like hearing that same story. I mean, there's stories I've heard of 50,000 times. Well, maybe not that much, but I'll sit there and listen to it again. And this weekend I've heard some of the same things and variations, but to me, it's that 50,000th time is the same to me as the first time, because I still enjoy that I'm there with the person. Mm-hmm. And to make it very relevant is, this was our first year. Mr. Tom Collenborn passed away, and it was completely different. And Frank and I have found out doing things that it's suddenly we realize how much we would think, hey, let's ask Tom about that. Well, we don't have that anymore. And then this year at the Rendezvous, there was stuff. I know last year we were talking, and Frank left the conversation, but Tom and I just started talking about guitars for like an hour. And you miss that, You suddenly realize that guy's not there. So I'm going to relish sitting around with these guys, talking. In the case with Greg, he's sleeping in the chairs, but that's okay. He's drifting. I'm good with Greg. Breaking chairs, falling down, just looking ugly all the way through it. But no, every one of these guys, I'm coming out here and I'll always hang out with them, and I think they know how you feel in the end, because you keep coming back and hanging out. We'll trade insults, but it's all good. So, but that's the Rendezvous, and where you can find everything. And like I said, you come out here, support everything, support the museum, support Goldfield, support Tortilla Flat, and enjoy the mountains. Take a hike, come out, check it out. I think if it speaks to you, you'll fall in love with it. And just to make a point, one of our head of our audio department ended up moving to Arizona, and there was guys that kept making return visits and say, we're going to come out and go dove hunting, because once you're here and you experience this, there's nothing like it, man. It's the most awesome place. We come from all over the place: Pennsylvania, California, Illinois, and this is where we ended up settling on our feet, and this is home. I don't think, Greg, Frank, is this home?
No.
Okay, Frank is old, bitter, and has lost us slightly. But no, I mean,
we get away from home.
I'm talking about Arizona.
Oh, Arizona, yes.
Yes, this is home. So I know this wasn't perfect for you, Terry.
It was.
And we were kind of all over the place, and maybe somebody will laugh at it. But that's the other thing. Just keep laughing and feel good about this stuff. Now that I did this, and it might have turned out pretty well, and you probably laughed and enjoyed it and were entertained, Terry's going to do a video with Frank Augustine. So I'm going to go over and sit on another bench and twitch and just kind of like wince as Frank tries to muddle his way through this. And I'm going to guarantee that Frank can make this through in 40 takes or less. So.
Hey, wait.
But got me all choked up, Frank. lot of love. Okay. But anyways, thanks everybody, and watch Terry's stuff. I mean, subscribe to this stuff. Come over, watch our channel, but just don't make it all about coming back to us. Come back to his, because you know the Victoria Peak stuff and all. I loved it, and when he came out here, it was a big deal to me that he came out, because I was like, oh man, I loved your stuff. So and that's a shared treasure hunter thing.
That surprised me, because I really love your stuff.
Yeah, we you know, it was that mutual thing. No, your stuff's better. So, but no, that was all very cool. So it's great to have Terry out here and him doing his thing and sharing and taking the time to do this with us. So thank you, Terry. I appreciate it a lot.
I appreciate you taking time to do this.
No, thank you, Terry.
Thanks for a great time.
Take the compliment.
That's a wrap.
Oh, there we go.